7 days from today, high school football kicks off. And the following night, it's the first big Friday in Ohio high school football. We hope you are as excited as we are. It's going to be fun. Speaking of fun, how about the Fairless Falcons football program? They're fun. They're fun to watch. They're fun to call their games. It's fun to watch the Ring of Fire. They've got a great concession stand. Oh, and they also have A.J. Sarbaugh. He's their head coach, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Coach A.J., good afternoon. How you doing, buddy?
Great. Awesome to hear from you, Sammy B. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I know you're busy today. You guys got a scrimmage tonight, right?
Yes, we do. Malvern at home at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay, so folks are interested in checking out a little scrimmage tonight. Fairless and Malvern at 6 o'clock tonight. Okay, how has camp been treating you so far?
I'd say camp's been really good so far. Our kids are energetic. They're excited to be playing football, and we're healthy. So a lot of good things on that end.
We got to catch up and talk a little bit at St. Harlambus, which was, a week ago or 8 days ago. And we got to, talk to all the coaches, listen to what they had to say about their teams and their players and the tradition of the high school football scene. And, I didn't realize that dinner, I think, has been going on now for 25 years. They've been putting that on. It's still attended very, very well, in my opinion. What did that night to you? What do the weeks and years and months of football go by in your mind, in your life? What does that say about Stark County football and where we're at here in 2025?
I just think it shows how special Stark County is and how whether you're at a McKinley or a Massillon or a Fairless or a Tuslaw, that football in Stark County matters and you don't take for granted being in this county. I think you feel the same way, Sam, as a guy that's been here his whole life, just like me, that no matter where you are, Friday nights are special and you give it everything you have for those kids. But Friday nights in Stark County are a really big deal. And I'm very fortunate to be a head coach in the county with all the supporters there and all the amazing head coaches we have in the county, because I'd put our county up against anybody.
When you were growing up in your family, your dad is a coach. I know your brother played. Obviously the rest of your immediate family is huge sports fans and just passionate about everything. How cool was it growing up in your household, and how did that mold you to where you are now as a head coach? Because I got to believe at some point, whether you were 2 or 12, you wanted to carve out a path to be in charge of a football program someday, right?
Yeah, I think I tell people I first wanted to be a head coach when I was probably 10 years old. I was going to 2-a-day practices with Dad when I was 5 or 6, and that's all I knew was getting in the car, going to practice with him. And then I was fortunate enough, Coach Hurler would let me go scout as long as I didn't get in the way. And then I was a water boy, a ball boy, and high school football is all I really know. And it just means a lot to me. I think it's the purest form of football right now. And like you said, I've always wanted to be a head coach, and I tried to learn from the best people and pick their brains, and here I am. But I'm very fortunate that I tell people I'm living out my dream, and I couldn't be happier.
Hey, Jerry Sarbaugh is our guest. He is the outstanding head football coach of the Fairless Falcons, giving us a few minutes today here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. So, if you could, in a little capsule maybe, talk about your career, your coaching career at Fairless, from day one you took over the program to where you are today, getting ready to start another year. What has that been like for you? What have you learned? What do you still want to accomplish?
I think I've learned that Fairless is a special place and that football is important here, and that we've got really good kids and really good parents and really good administration, because it's never just one person that changes things around. And I came in with a vision and some goals, and it's been very supportive from those groups, and they wanted football to be successful. And seeing the things that we've accomplished that I don't know if people thought we would accomplish, and obviously we don't just want to hang our hats on those. We want to continue to add to the program's tradition, but making the playoffs 5 years in a row, winning the league title for the first time in 2021 in 42 years. And then we won 9 games back-to-back years in 2021 and 2022, which is the most in school history. And you probably remember, Sam, you you've been following for a long time, but there was a point where Fairless didn't beat Tuslaw for the Blue Cup. That was, a 15-year stretch, and now we've won it 6 years in a row. So there's a lot of things I think our community is proud of. But most importantly, win or lose, I think on Friday nights we represent Fairless at the highest level. Our kids are first class, and they play as hard as they can. We might not always win, but we're going to represent our community and our school district to the best of our ability.
Well, in the jump that the Fairless football program has made since you have been there, and again, there's been some really cool coaches there before. Mike Drame. I know I'm forgetting a couple. Coach Wilson, I think at one point was, but I mean, look at what you guys have accomplished, and it's like, hey. People at some point, maybe it was back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, looked at the schedule and said, Fairless is coming in. Okay. It's not like that anymore because you guys you're legit. You're on the mantle now.
Yeah, I think that's very true, Sam. And that's what we've told the kids, where we've taken the program where when people used to look at their schedule, they said, Fairless was a win. And now they know that they're going to have to play their tails off and have a good game plan. Talking about that, like from 2000 to 2012, Fairless didn't have a winning record. So, now I think that we're a program that people respect and our kids play hard, and it's going to be a fight every Friday night when we take the field. And that's something I'm really proud of.
Oh, no doubt. Fairless coach AJ Sarbaugh, our guest here on 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. I talked about your family. The fact that, you went to Hoover, played football, you were over at the University of Mount Union, which is right down the road from us. I mean, you have been around you talk about if you have absorbed 50% of what was out there between Hoover and the University of Mount Union, you're well on your way, right?
Yeah. I think I'm really blessed, Sam. Obviously I put my dad first. Like, this is his 40th year of coaching, and he's in the Stark County Hall of Fame for wrestling and coach multiple sports. And then Coach Hertler, who I was a water boy, ball boy, and coach for him his last year. And then I got the coach for Randy Montgomery, who's in the Ohio High School Hall of Fame. I coached for Jeff Height and played for Jeff Height, who's in the High School Hall of Fame. And I got the coach for Jerry Goodpasture for 4 years softball in the Hall of Fame. And obviously you said Mount Union, and Larry Karras, Vince Karras, Jeff Dart, Chris Kappas, Jeff Witovich. I mean, they're as good a football minds as you're going to find. So I've been very fortunate to get to talk to all those guys and still consider them mentors and friends and people that I can pick their brains. And I've learned a lot, but probably the most important thing I've learned is I'm still AJ. I'm still myself, because I can't be Don Hertler Jr. I can't be Larry Karras. You have to be yourself no matter what your job is.
And, your family has grown over the last couple of years. How have you found the balance between, family, games, practice, coaching, film? How have you worked that out?
I'm really fortunate. My wife is awesome. She's a teacher and she's a cheer coach at Fairless. That's how we met. She was teaching here, and now she teaches at North Canton Hoover. But our kids are getting older, but they all go to cheer practice with her right now. They're not old enough to go to football, but CC's 7, Connor's 3, and Collins is 2. And, I try to keep football at school, and then I wake up earlier now, so that way I get into the office earlier while they're sleeping, and I get more work done in the morning versus doing it at night. So I've kind of changed my routine, so that way when I come home, I try my best to shut it off and spend time with them. Obviously, it doesn't always happen, but those guys are really important. But I couldn't do what I do without Megan, because on Friday nights I'm not with them at all, and she's got all 3 of them. And we've got a great support staff down here at Fairless. We have parents and teachers and family friends that help us with our kids, so we're very lucky in that aspect.
So 2025 is upon us. 1 week from tonight, regular season opener. Who are some of the names of the young fellas on each side of the ball, and maybe some guys at special teams that we need to be on the lookout for and listen for this year?
Yeah, Cam Carl's coming back. He'll be a 3-year starter, 4-year letterman. He's had a really good offseason. I think he was second in Stark County in catches last year. Starts at the slot for us and plays free safety. Mikey Ritterbeck returns at quarterback. He's a junior, has a full year under his belt. He's a 3-sport athlete. He's top 5 in the county in baseball. So those are 2 skill guys. And then we have Peter Snavely, who's a tight end junior. He's got a couple offers from Eastern Michigan and Miami of Ohio. On the defensive side, we have Dylan Stevens back, who started since he's a freshman. He'll be a junior. And then John Hill's a junior. strong safety. He started as a sophomore. CJ Pomnio is a sophomore who started as a freshman. And Bo Sheets is someone that we've got an eye on. So, I mean, we started 5 sophomores and 2 freshmen last year, Sam. And our kicker was a sophomore also. So I guess we started 6 guys. But our kicker's back, Jameis Robinson. He's had a great offseason. So we've got a lot of guys getting their second year of experience that we're excited about.
I forget. I think it was you at the dinner last week up at the podium. You talked about what for every sophomore there was a what? Repeat that line for the folks who haven't heard it. What did you mean by
Jeff
that?
Durbin, Jeff Durbin, Lake Blue Streak. For every sophomore you start, you can count on a loss here. And I said, we started 5 sophomores and started 2 freshmen. We went 4 and 7.
Sometimes they know. Sometimes they
How
know.
it goes.
No kidding. AJ Sarbaugh is our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. All right, fresh slate. Now, what are we looking for as far as your non-conference? We know you open up with Sandy Valley, and we're by all means we're not looking past Sandy Valley, but just to give people an idea who you're going to be battling here the first month of the season.
Yeah, so we're at home against Sandy Valley week 1 next Thursday, like you said. And then week 2, we will play Waynedale, which is new for us. We'll be at Waynedale on the grass. That's our only grass game this year.
Wow, okay.
And then week 3, we're at Claymont, which we've been playing them since 2021. They're much improved. Their head coach is Buddy White. He's in his second year. He used to be the head coach at Reynoldsburg. And then CVCA is now out of the league. So our bye week in the Pac-7 is week 4. So Tusky Valley went back to week 4, and they were an old Pac-7 rival. We've been playing them since they got out of the league, and it'll be their first year with turf.
Wow.
So we get non-conference week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're in the Pac-7 the rest of the way out.
Wow. Am I reading this correctly? You guys aren't home until October 3rd after that?
That is correct. We have 5.
Oh, my
We're going to be Road
goodness.
Warriors. We're home August 21st, and we don't have a home game in September.
Who's the AD down there?
Zach Mike.
I know. Holy cow! That is okay. Well, have fun on the road. That's unbelievable. All right, let me see here. What is your favorite thing about coaching football? I don't care what the level. If you were an assistant, a volunteer, a head coach, what's your favorite thing about it?
I think my favorite thing of coaching football is seeing kids come together. You've got 11 guys on a play, and if one guy screws up, you're not going to have success. And football is the only sport where not everybody touches the ball or can score. In baseball, everybody's going to get to hit for the most part. Everyone's going to field. Basketball, everyone touches the ball. But in football, it takes a special person to play offensive line. And I think in football, you can have kids that maybe aren't the biggest or the strongest, but over 48 minutes, if you're willing to play as hard as you can, you'll wear people out just with your heart and your tenacity. And I think a lot of times you see teams come together that maybe don't have the talent, but they love playing together. And I think that's the greatest thing about high school football is building young men and seeing them reach their goals.
In my humble opinion, you have one of the more wide open playbooks in Ohio high school football. And I hear the laugh, and I get it, man. How much pride do you take in putting your game plan together for a week? Just the fact that on any given time, it could be, there's that special play. How much extra work do you put into that?
I put a lot of time into it, but I also think it comes back to the people I've been around. Like, Larry Karras, obviously it's players, formations, plays.
Yep.
Coach Hertler was very similar to that, where I tell people all the time, like when we were in school, obviously we had Eric Howard and we were with an 8-man front. And then a couple years later with Dom Miro, he spread throwing it around. And I think that's what makes high school so different than NFL or college, that you have to fit to your personnel. We're not picking our kids. And I take a lot of pride in putting our kids in the best position possible and trying to pick people's brains. And whether it's reaching out to a Mark Geis or a Coach Hertler or a Larry Karras or a Jay Sherritt or a Mike Elder at Avon, like, I think you're always trying to learn and improve your craft and try to figure out what fits your kids best. And the other part of that is our kids have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
We practice it a lot, and they look forward to learning something new. And we've had a lot of success with it, I think.
All right, Coach. It is a Thursday. It's a 3-question Thursday quiz. Before we let you go, are you ready to take the quiz?
I should have looked on Facebook what the questions were.
You should have. I thought we were tight like that. I thought you looked at that already.
Well, I see them every day, but we've had convocation here today. It's been a little busy.
All right. Oh, this is more fun. It's poll question Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's the big one, so I'm glad we had you on here today. Question number 1. Probably a dumb question, but I got to ask it. It's on the list. Most excited for the NFL, college, or high school football?
Oh, high school football.
Yeah.
But I'd say college would be next for me.
All right. Question number 2. Best way for AJ Sarbaugh to unwind after a tough week of work?
Laying on the couch at home with pizza from probably either Pizza Oven or Krause's with a grape crush or a Pepsi and hanging out with the kids.
All right. Question number 3. What is your all-time favorite song?
Oh, Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go Ring of Fire. Okay, well that's good. That's good. Don't stop believing.
Well played.
Awesome. All right, man. Hey, thank you for coming on today, AJ. I appreciate it.
This was awesome, Sam. I really appreciate you having me on. I've looked up to you and everything you've done over the years. So to have an icon like you have me on, this was a big deal. I appreciate it.
Well, you are welcome. I'll be bugging you a lot, and we'll see you a week from tonight. Sounds good, brother. Thanks, and have a good scrimmage tonight.
To it. Thanks, Sammy. Take care.
Bet. There he goes. AJ Sarbaugh, head football coach of the Fairless Falcons, checking in here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDP.